What's up, Closer Nation? Another episode of Whiteboard Wednesday here. I heard you missed us. I'm back. I had some health complications, and we had to get a new video, guys. We had a little lapse in our Whiteboard Wednesday, and I bet you thought that I just wasn't going to do it anymore. But look, I'm not no bitch. I'm not a quitter. We're going to make this shit happen, right? Regardless. So here we are. We're back on roll. Even though my health is not in optimal position right now, I'm still on top of my game, and I'll be back 100% healthy in 2 weeks. But that's not going to stop me from bringing the heat to you today, all right? But before we get into this episode, I want to talk to you real quick about how you can up your sales game, how you can become an objection handling master. Now, guys like Russell Brunson and Marshall Silver have said I'm one of the best guys they've ever seen at handling objections, right? I'm good on the phone, I'm good face-to-face, and I was even at Funnel Hacking 2016 from the stage taking random strangers' objections about products I knew nothing about and loading their lips with some of the best word tracks ever. If you've never seen that, a recording, just go to YouTube and type in Ryan Stewman Funnel Hacking. Now, the reason why I share that with you is me being a master of objections is because I've trained my mind for every situation. You see, most of us weren't born wired for success, right? We have to rewire our brains for success. Success with objections, success with sales, success in handling objections, closing over them, and everything else, right? And so I created something I call closer cards. Closer cards are basically, I wish I had a pack in my hand, but I don't. But closer cards are basically flashcards for salespeople. And what happens is you write an objection on one side, which I've written the first 10 objections and a hint on what you should say on the back end because every industry is different. There's no one-size-fits-all objection. And then I've got a slew of other cards that are blank on both sides where you write down the objection and the rebuttal. Now, every day before you hit the sales floor, you read the objection, you read the rebuttal, you sit it down. Read the objection, read the rebuttal, and you set them down. Listen, when we were kids, when we were at optimal cognizance learning ages, right, which is 3 to 7, I know I got big words for you today, but from ages 3 to 7, those are the optimal comprehension and cognizance learning ages. And the way that we learned when we were going through those optimal learning and comprehension ages of our lives was through flashcards. We learned addition, multiplication, ABCs, division, subtraction, everything we learned from flashcards. Well, being a salesperson as an adult, because you're an adult when you go get a job in sales for most of us, we don't ever train our brain to handle objections. Then objections come out of left field. We're like, damn it, I missed that sale. How did I let that happen? Well, closer cards solves that problem. Especially if you're a sales manager and you're experienced with objections, you can write objections and rebuttals down on these specific cards and then hand them off to the new guys that you hire. If you're a person that's been in sales for 15 years or 15 minutes, then you need to be practicing and training your brain to be prepared for objections because here's how, and this has got a lot to transition into this episode, but here's how a lot of salespeople look at sales floor. They think, well, I'm just going to close a bunch of sales today. People are just going to fall into my lap and I'm just going to make accidental money and life is going to be great. And that is a lie. People are going to resist. People hate making decisions. One of the hardest things to get a human being to do on this planet is make a decision. And if you don't believe me, simply ask your significant other where they want to go eat tonight. Hey, what do you want for dinner? Oh no, what do you want for dinner? Oh no, because people hate making decisions, okay? And so you've got to be able to expect these objections to come your way, and you got to be prepared for when these objections come your way, and closer cards are the best way for that to happen. So go over to closercards.com. They're $9.99 plus free shipping and handling. No gimmicks, no nothing like that. Just go to closercards.com, grab you 1, 2, 3, 10, 100 stacks of them. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in your closer cards. All right, but anyway, right, I'm just trying to be a little gangster rap there for you. But go over to closercards.com and grab your stack today. Now, as we transition into that, closer cards are a way to have a plan for failure, right? If you plan to have objections and you're prepared to handle them, then you'll close more sales. Well, a lot of us are born into life and we have a plan to succeed, but we don't have a plan to fail. And now there's the old adage that says, you know, people who have a plan to succeed never have a plan to fail, right? But that's not true. You need to expect failure. You see, success is not guaranteed to us, but what is guaranteed is failure. That's what's going to happen to you. It's what's going to happen to me. Every entrepreneur I know has failed, and they've failed more times than they've been successful. You only got to be right once, but you might have to been wrong a million times to be right once. Let's think about Thomas Edison, the guy who's credited for creating electricity. He failed more than 10,000 times, but he only needed to be right once to make the light bulb work. But guess what? Most of us don't have a plan to fail. We have a plan for success, and when we deviate from that plan, we panic, we sit down, we give up, we quit, we lose, we accept failure, and we don't know what to do. Iron Mike Tyson once said, everybody's got a plan to win until they get punched in the face. But you know what? These days, the guys that are fighting, the guys that are the champions, they're the guys that had a plan for what happens when they get punched in the face. Because that's what life's going to do to you. It's going to punch you in the face. Because the force of average is going to try to get you to live an average life, because that's how this world was coded. That's how the algorithm works on this planet. You're supposed to be average. And if you're going to break through average, the force of average is going to punch you in the face like Iron Mike Tyson. And that shit hurts. It hurts so much that most people sit their punk asses down and just accept failure, but not you. You're watching this because you want more. And I'm going to teach you today how you can plan to fail, because if you have a plan for success, you also need a plan for failure. You think about it, when Conor McGregor gets in the ring and somebody punches him in the fucking nose, he doesn't just sit there and fold. His plan is to take him to the ground so he doesn't get punched in the nose and eventually get knocked out again. You've got to have a plan to fail. See, so many of us are focused on success, and then when failure shows up, we say, why me? God, I've been faithful. I've been tithing till you've been going to church and put my suit and tie on. Why you doing this? You can't believe it. It's bullshit. What happens is you got to be able to prepare yourself for failure. So you need to write a plan in the event that shit don't work out. What are you going to do? Right now, I own 8 businesses. The reason why I own 8 businesses is because all this shit, God, please don't ever let it happen, but all this shit could fly out the window tomorrow. And guess what? I just run right back into my real estate business. I just go right back into my vitamin business. I just go right back into my personal development coaching business, right? I go right back into my commercial real estate investing business, right? Because if this shit fails, which as an entrepreneur, I expect failure. I'm not looking for failure. I'm not trying to increase my chances of failure, but I know that failure's out there lurking around the fucking door, just waiting for me to cross the corner so it can punch me right in the fucking nose, because that's what this planet does to you. But meanwhile, when most people get punched in the nose, they don't know what to do. They just fold like those fucking goats where you clap and they just pass out, right? The fainting goats. That's what most people do when they fail. There's an old famous meme that says this is what what most people think success looks like. And it's like this. It's a graph and it's an arrow going like this. Well, here's what really success looks like. It's a graph and it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It looks just like an EKG. But most people, they don't have a plan for what happens here. Hey, they got a plan to celebrate when they get up here. They got a plan to celebrate when they get up here, but they don't have a plan for when they hit the bottoms. You see, me, I had a rock bottom experience in my life more than once. I've had money, not had money, had success, not had success, had love, not had love. And the biggest setbacks in my life were the times where I didn't have love, the time I didn't have success, the time I didn't have the great things going for me. All those setbacks when I hit rock bottom, I didn't have a plan, but now I do. You see, because I know just around every corner, there's failure waiting on me to make a mistake. Failure's waiting to laugh in my face, piss me off, poke me, prod me, and push me over my limit to where I just say, fuck it, and I'm done. And I know this. And because of this, I'm prepared for when failure shows up to go, don't slap me, motherfucker, I'll slap you back. If you hit me, no, I'm hitting you back. If you come at me, no, I'm coming back at you, failure, because I'm not here to lose. I have a plan for when you punch me in the nose, and that plan is to take your ass to the ground, and I'm better at ground and pound than I am standing up, so you better beware, motherfucker. But see, most of us, we don't have that plan. And what happens when we get punched in the face, we fold like these fainting goats from Africa, and the next thing you know, we just talk about, well, you know, I used to work in sales. It's a tough racket. It wasn't for me. When the truth is, you're designed to fail, and every time you fail, it's an opportunity for you to grow. We think about lifting weights, right? You think about you lift weights, you do curls, and you lift weights, and you're working out to failure to where you cannot pick up anymore. Matter of fact, right now, my pectoral muscle is torn open right here. It's why it looks like a little swollen, because it is. It's freaking huge because I did snatches to failure, right? I was doing I can't raise my hands up right now, but I was doing snatches, and I did a set of 21 snatches, and I was pushing myself to failure, and I failed so hard that I tore my muscle. But guess what? I had a plan. I went to the doctor repaired it, the doctor did this stuff and put it together, and guess what? When I get back in the gym, I'm going to build it stronger than before, because now that I've failed, there's an opportunity for me to grow. Now that I've broken this muscle, there's an opportunity for me to rebuild it bigger, stronger, and better than ever before. And that's what makes me different, and that's what makes winners and champions different than everybody else, because we have a plan for when failure steps foot in our life for us to just slap the shit out of that motherfucker to get your ass back out of my life. You see, there's guys like Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell, and I'm going to use a lot of fight analogies in this video. But Chuck Liddell, when he fought Rashad Evans knocked him out. He was never the same. I got mad respect for Chuck Liddell. At one point, he was my favorite fighter. Everybody that stuck in the ring with that dude, he just had the most unconventional hits, and he would knock people the fuck out. It was amazing to watch him fight. But as soon as Sugar Rashad Evans knocked his ass out, he was never the same. He lost the belt. He never got it back, and he eventually went on to whatever he was doing. Randy Couture is a different story, though. He got knocked out by Chuck Liddell, and then got back up, ended up getting the lightweight belt, or the light heavyweight belt, and then went on to fight other people bigger than him and got the heavyweight championship belt as well. Why? Because Couture had a plan for when he failed, and Chuck Liddell didn't. Chuck, if you're watching this, I'm not talking shit about you. I don't want no problems. I know you still got it, bro. I'm just saying that Couture had a plan for when he got his ass knocked out. He knew how to get back in the gym to come back stronger, harder, and more confident than ever before, whereas Chuck Liddell folded and he never was the same. Matter of fact, I just heard that Chuck and Tito are trying to work out a time for them to fight. It's like, dude, they're older than I am. This ought to be really interesting, right? I'm friends with Ken Shamrock, and he was mentioning this the other day to me, and I noticed it, and I thought, well, what in the world? Those guys are going to fight each other. That's crazy. They're both old. But hey, I'll watch it. I'll pay for it. But here's the difference, though. Like I said, Couture had a plan for failure. When I get knocked out, I just got to get back in the gym and work twice as hard. I got to be able to take hits twice as hard. I got to get hit twice as many times so I become twice as strong. Where most people, they say, I lost the belt. I'm just gonna go back to being whatever. Right? You see guys like Couture, when they lost a fight and they held up the other person's hand to take the belt from them, you know, most guys, they slump their shoulders and their heads down and they're like, I lost. Couture sat there confidently knowing, hey, motherfucker, I'm gonna come back. When Conor McGregor lost to Nate Diaz, that's the first thing he said was, hey, I'll fight you right now. We can just start the fucking clock all over and go all right back at it again. He didn't lose his confidence. He planned to fail. Hey, I failed. Guess what? I didn't fail because I'm going to get back up and keep it real. And that's what you got to do in your life. So, hey, if this message resonated with you, if you understand what I'm saying, if you're going to come up with a plan, not plan to fail, but a plan for when you fail, then make sure you share this with somebody who needs to hear it, somebody who needs some motivation, someone who needs some forward thinking, and make sure you head over to closercards.com and grab your stack today. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week on Whiteboard Wednesday. Closer Nation!